Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sid, and if you always tune in to watch, thank you so much. Today I'm going to be talking about my March TBR. Today is March 1st and I've already made some progress on my TBR, if you will. I didn't do great for February. I only read, I think, 3 books. I DNF'd one. So I will do a wrap up on February in a different video, but today's video I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to read in March. First things first, to nobody's shock, the fourth book in the Wheel of Time series. I'm doing a read along with Nicole from Dusty Book Sniffers. I will leave her channel right here. Please go check her out. She also has a Discord. I will leave a link in the description. I also have a Discord where we are discussing the Wheel of Time. My good friend Coda is also joining us. He's a little late to the game. He's only on book 1 right now, but I am currently waiting to get the audio from the library on this. So I will start this as soon as I get the audio. I've been listening to them and then kind of in some way following along a little bit. I tab it as I go and kind of like do a couple chapters at a time, tab the chapters, because I think it will be fascinating to see at the end of it all what I thought was important and what ended up not being important at all. So I am enjoying the Wheel of Time series so much. This is the book that I know that a lot of people end up kind of getting dissuaded from pursuing the rest of the series. This is a big boy. This is like 916 pages. This thing is chunky, and I've kind of heard that these next 3 installments in the series are more politically driven and just kind of a little less action-packed than the first 3 have been. I am okay with that because I am not reading it physically. I think I might get bored if I was reading it physically, but I am listening, so I feel like listening in 2 to 3 hour chunks is going to be very easy to get through. It's not going to seem overwhelming. I hope that there's action in this, and I hope we get to follow some of my favorite characters again. I loved book 3. I personally love getting to see the side characters more than I love our main character, and our book 3 was all side characters and no main character at all. So I enjoyed that a lot, but maybe other people don't. Anyway, this is the first priority. I am trying to do the Wheel of Time in a year, so we'll see. Next, I actually kind of like made a little, not game, but like I've written down all of my books that I haven't read on my shelf, and then I'm gonna have my boyfriend pick 2 every month that I should read. The only books, I will say, the only books that I did not include are The Assassin's Apprentice and The Gardens of the Moon, because those are 2 very large series that I want to completely dedicate, like maybe next year or 2. The Wheel of Time right now is my series that I am dedicated to. I don't want to start like a million different things and like feel overwhelmed. So I will caveat that those 2 are not in it and will not be picked for this year. But I only have about 20 other books on my shelf that I haven't read, so I'm doing really well, and I'm trying really hard to cut down on my physical TBR so that I can add to it or get rid of books that I didn't enjoy. So the book that my boyfriend ended up picking for this month was the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I have already started this. I'm like 100 pages in. Oh my gosh, it's really good. I've had this book on my shelf for a very long time, and I am really disappointed that I didn't get to it before now, because I am really enjoying it. Only 100 pages in. Really captivating, really easy to read, really digestible. If you don't know anything about this book, it follows our 2 main characters, Priya and Malini. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but one is the sister of the Emperor, and one is kind of just like a abandoned orphan that we're kind of following. We don't really know much about her story yet, but we do know that the sister of the Emperor kind of disobeyed her brother and ended up not being willing to take part in a religious ceremony, and so she is sent to a prison, and in that prison she meets our other character, Priya, and our story kind of goes from there. I don't really know much else about it. It is so intriguing. There is like a pandemic almost happening in this book. There is a disease, they call it the rot, that is taking place in people, and this rot is actually like nature manifesting itself in humans. So it's like roots will grow in your skin and like leaves will grow out of you, and like it's kind of gross. In my personal opinion, it kind of like grosses me out, but I think it's fascinating. I've never heard of something like that, so we're trying to kind of figure out why this is taking place, what's happening. I do know that this book is a sapphic romance, so excited to see where that goes. I'm not a romance reader, but I'm trying to be a little easier on romance than I have been in the past. I just get really bogged down if it's the main plot of the story. I have a really hard time with that. I want other things to happen and romance to be very far in the back. So, so far, that is the case with this. For my next read, I am also doing another read with Coda, and he's just somebody on my Discord. He does not have a channel. He probably should with how many books he reads. But it is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I am so excited. I have had this on my shelf for a very long time as well, and I need desperately to pick it up. It has like huge, you can't see that at all. It has huge, massive margins, and I have a feeling that this book is going to be extremely fast-paced. I've heard, yeah, it's 454 pages, so I have no doubt that I can get through this pretty quickly. This, I really don't know anything about, besides that it is a pre-Columbia America, and it's a civilization. So we're following somebody within that pre-Columbian civilization. I'm excited. I feel like in fantasy it's so fascinating to see this new kind of like era of other cultures being like shown and expressed in fantasy, because it's so much cooler to get other perspectives and other kind of environments and experiences through fantasy that aren't just kind of like Viking or, you know, just kind of like that really typical like Lord of the Rings fantasy. I love getting to see new stuff like this. I'm super excited about this. I don't know when I'll start this, probably later in the month, because I have so many books I need to read this month. My next book is also a buddy read, but it's a buddy read with somebody from work. Her name is Cynthia, and she's a coworker of mine. She's an English lit major, and I love her dearly. We actually read Frankenstein together last month along with Coda, and MJ, I don't think MJ actually got around to it. She threw her TBR out the window, which is totally fine. We had a call about it, so we love discussing books. I love her to death. She is amazing, and I love her so much. And so we decided that every month the other person would pick a book. So I picked Frankenstein, and this month she picked 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I have not read it. I don't know anything about it. All I know is it's a classic, and I am so excited to read it. I loved Frankenstein. I have a whole video dedicated to Frankenstein that I'm going to post. Oh, I could talk about Frankenstein for days, for literal days. So I am super excited. I hope this is going to be wonderful and super exciting. I'm assuming we're following a group of characters who go 20,000 leagues under the sea and discover something that they weren't expecting. That's pretty much what I'm going into it thinking. We'll see. I have no idea. So if you would like to read that, please join my Discord. I'll have a little channel open for it. if anybody else feels like reading that with me this month. And then the next book, and probably the final book, fingers crossed, I already have a very chunky stack of books that I need to read, is an arc from NetGalley. It is called Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. That is hard to say. I am already 30% into this. I am really trying to be better about reading my arcs when I get them, like right when I get them, so that I can kind of just give my feedback, be done, it's off my shelf in NetGalley, I'm done. I can be prepared for when my next arc comes in. So far, I am not loving Dragonfall. We just got to a point where it sounds like it's going to be a romance, and I did not know that it was going to be a romance. And the writing just isn't on par with most of what I read, so it might end up being a DNF for me. I'm going to really try and get to 50%. I should reach 50% either today or tomorrow. So I'm really trying to give it a good run for its money, like not trying to put it down if I don't, or I'm trying to put it down if I don't love it. So yeah, that is my goal for this particular book. The premise is super interesting. We're following a character that is a dragon, and he ends up basically coming to the human world. And in the human world, he manifests as a human. He just kind of looks a little bit different. He doesn't really know how to interact with anybody. And when he comes into the new world, he is bonded with a human. And we're also following our human girl, our Katie. And she is a thief. She's, on the run. She's kind of homeless. She makes her living stealing and fighting her way through everything. And so he is bonded with this human, and we're just kind of trying to figure out how they can break that bond or forge it completely and get him back to his dragon world. And in this world, we also have a system of magic that is stolen from dragonkind, which is why dragons no longer live in the human realm. So, very interesting premise, probably why I requested it on NetGalley. If I do end up putting it down, I will still give a review for it. I will give my thoughts and opinions up to the point that I read. I hate DNFing books. I hate it, but I will do it. But yeah, as of right now, those are my plans for March. Okay, everybody, thank you. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you so much. I love to ramble. I love to talk about books. And I appreciate you, again, so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hang out, whatever you want to do. I just appreciate you being here. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!